Hello TNR members. Today is going to be another raid. Now this time it's not just about the fuel, but it's also about the resources. Mainly because of the alliance tasks. The alliance tasks are now quite valuable, and the resources will be good to donate to the alliance tasks and help us complete them. Fuel obviously is still a main objective, and the fact that the fuel generator is smoking is just great. Um, so can continue and progress. So after viewing, checking out the compound, identifying the resources, the generator, the defenses, you know, I've thought that this is going to be a good raid. Um, and so now I've started using the SVD as part of my raiding arsenal. Um, and although it has shorter range than the M24, and less damage per round, the SVD does have a much higher attack rate, and the damage is still quite high per round. Um, so it is actually very good for taking out a number of survivors in the open. And for some reason, people have started to leave their survivors out in the open more often. Exhibit A. 3 survivors downed in less than 10 seconds with the SVD. It just cuts them up, and it is really good for, suppression and, taking out multiple survivors quickly, which is really good. The M24 still has its pride of place as the PvP weapon, both compound defense and compound raiding. It's still got huge damage per round, huge range, massive accuracy. Um, it, it's it is still the top PvP weapon, but you know, mixing it up using different long rifles, generally the newer one, for example, the PSG, the latest long rifle, albeit it is hard to get, it is um, quite an effective weapon. Has a 22 minimum range, um, so that's between the SVD FAL, and between those two and the M24. It has a sort of slower attack rate than the SVD and the FAL, but it does have a higher attack rate than the M24. So it's literally right smack bang in the middle in all cases. Damage is higher than FAL and SVD, but so right there is a very good illustration of the fact that watchtowers, are very good for defense purposes. They let the survivors shoot over the barricades. So and not just over, but when your survivors, you know, expose themselves to fire back at them, uh, survivors in the towers can hit them quite well, and it can be quite problematic. So yeah, use your towers. Be mindful that they aren't as uh, good cover as actual barricades, but they do, at the cost of the defense, they do have a very good attack. Like, they allow the defenders to really hit your raiders. So it's, uh, you know, using your towers with the barricades is a very good way of having a good defense. As you can see, the tower survivor in the tower just hit my leader. Another tip for raiding: health vests. Very, very important. Your health is much more important than, you know, reloading or damage. Because I mean, you can use an ammo mod on an M24, but the M24 bullets are so powerful that they'll take out a majority of people with a couple of rounds anyway, regardless of the ammo mod or the attachment. it's the most important thing is range, attacks per second, accuracy. These are the ones that are important, and obviously for the survivor, health. You know, after health, reload speed is probably second important. Um, Alternatively, healing speed is second most important for medics, um, and such. So always remember to give your raiders good health vests and you know, good ranged weapons. You'll notice that quite a few of the players in trade chat, um, whenever they're looking for weapons, they look for ones that have long range, because outside the effective range, a weapon's accuracy diminishes significantly, and the damage is also reduced. However, the M24 having such a high damage per round still is effective beyond its effective range. Ironically, it's still um, very you know useful, very strong, very powerful, accurate. So now you'll notice that the way that this I'm using his own barricades as cover against him. If he had put traps there, that might have been useful, and if he had survivors in the center part of his defenses where my fighter is now, if he had survivors there, that would have made it quite difficult to reach those barricades. Um, you know, Using traps in combination with defenders is a very good defense. It stops your survivors, or it stops raiders from advancing. It stops, um, you know, it, they can advance, but it does damage them. Traps will kill a lot of people very quickly. The wheel of misfortune can wipe out an entire squad if they're not behind cover when it goes off. A scatter bomb can take at least two if they're caught in the blast. Like a scatter bomb 3 will kill pretty much anyone in one go. Like, doesn't matter if it's a fighter with a good health vest, a scatter bomb 3 is incredibly powerful. So be very, very careful with them. They will, down your survivor very quickly. Even a scatterbomb 2 causes mega damage. Now you'll see that throughout this raid, I was only taking on groups of the enemies, the defending survivors. I didn't go for all of them at once. Always use the angles to pick them off. And now you've just seen me shoot the barrier of barbed wire. You saw, like, I could have used the melee, but shooting can actually be quite effective. Um, and in fact, nowadays, after an update which stops you from using the melee through the smoke, um, shooting barricades is actually quite important these days. So keep that in mind next time you do a field raid. I hope you found the video helpful. Um, Hope you found the everything useful. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Great. See ya.